Welcome back to Let's Play Rome Total War Carthage Campaign, episode the 11th. And when we left off, well, things had changed a little bit, or at least things were getting better a bit. Managed to retake Corrales from the pesky Romans, and now we're looking to try and stave off Brutii once more, and take the fight to them, first through capturing Syracuse, and then marching onto the peninsula itself. So we do have a lot of things to do right now, and also just before we do get on with it, I just have a quick update to do, because obviously on the day this was uploaded, which was a Friday, probably should have been an episode of Lethal RPG instead. This is because I'm changing the format in which I upload now, due to work, which I now do. It's affecting my recording time, or how much time I have to record, so I've decided now, just because also certain people or certain subscribers really want to see this series like continue, or at least, you know, because I'm being a bit slow of uploading new episodes of Rome. Every weekend, or at least every Friday, there will now be an episode of Total War, and then all other days will be whatever else I'm recording, providing I have had time to record stuff, because my recording time is now very limited, so please understand. But every week I will try and guarantee at least one episode of Total War, so I'm going to try and aim to get 3 up, so then we have an episode every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But at the minimum, there's going to be at least one episode every Friday, so we can continue playing this game and also start moving on to other Total Wars, because me and Mr. Bones have been chatting every now and then on Steam, very little bits, but it would be nice to try and play some other Total Wars in the future. But for now, let's jump back into our campaign with Carthage. So, when we were last playing, we managed to retake Corrales with our new unit, the Libyan Spearmen, and now we are now having to look at trying to defend Messana again, as the Brutii have come to challenge it once more. Luckily, the Brutii are sticking to the strategy of just sending small pockets of units rather than one big army at me, which is going to try and keep Messana's survivability up. But this army here is, it's okay, but it's going to be a thorn in my side. There's Hastati, there's Velites, more Hastati, more Velites, a few Equites, even some cavalry auxilia, and quite a few war dogs. So I'm not sure if my Iberian swords will be up to the task of defending the area, especially with Figes, who's already dishonoured himself in the field. I mean, I do have plenty of Iberians and I do have plenty of cavalry, so if I fight cleverly, I probably could see off this threat, but we do need to think about trying to just continue to increase our military presence on the island. Meanwhile, in Lilybaeum, I've continued to expand my army, and I'm building stables now in order to start recruiting cavalry. And in Carthage, I have some town militia on their way to Carthage, because we are, well, what we were doing in Carthage was we're recruiting Libyan spearmen, which I'm going to be shipping over to Sicily. But Carthage right now is actually absolutely defenseless, so I was just sending a few extra units over to defend. The Julii seem to be having some naval activity going on near Corrales, which we'll try and deal with later. Meanwhile, in Thapsus, we're doing alright. I mean, one thing I really should do is I really should try and move south into Leptis Magna before the Numidians do, just so I'm not isolated to this little coast in Africa, because while Numidia is an ally, or at least, well, not quite an ally, but, you know, they're a friend of Carthage, I don't want Numidia to basically be holding the majority share of Africa, because things could quickly go disastrously if Numidia decides to stab you in the back. So I'm gonna pour what little funds I have left into a new unit of Iberian swordsmen. We'll start building up troops at Thapsus in order to make a move. Meanwhile, in Iberia, yes, once more, we are very spread out people. Looks like the Spanish are planning to have another go at us in Corduba. Captain Uguts is on his way. Looks like his army isn't too strong enough. From what we can tell, it's just mainly town militia and Iberian infantry, so we might be in with a chance of winning. The Gauls, meanwhile, they're not cooperating with us. While they are attacking the Romans, they're not really in the mood for forming alliances, so we're not getting anywhere fast with them. But there's nothing I can really do in Corduba right now. Corduba's army right now stands okay, so I think with the forces I have in Corduba, it's probably enough to rout out Captain Uguts if he decides to attack. I mean, I could even just take the fight to Uguts now, actually, which in a way probably would be a good idea in order to just prevent another Sally Forth battle. But at the same time, I don't have a full idea of what he's carrying. So these 3 units here could be something that could easily take me out in the field. That's implying the Spanish roster's any good. But if there are Scutari within them, then we will have a problem, because Scutari could cut up my infantry very quickly, and they do tend to be resistant to cavalry to some extent. So as for Ribadia Ildera, there isn't really a lot for him to do, really, because the Gauls aren't very interested in us. But we could continue to expand our knowledge of the European lands and see if what other tribes... Yeah, off you go. To see what other tribes exist in these lands. We have wind that there's another tribe that's existing to the east of Gaul, and there could be even ones existing to the north. So if we talk to these people, we might be able to secure more trade with them, while we are basically trading with those who are below us. Remember, Carthage is a country that likes gold, and we will go to any extent to kill Rome as well. Perhaps while the Gauls won't be an ally against the Romans, perhaps maybe the other tribes will be. But speaking of Gaul, they have actually been expanding. They've expanded into Illyria now, which doesn't really annoy me, but here in Tunis you need to get a move on because we need to talk to the Macedonians about trading, which may be something that's going to piss off my allies who are the Greek cities, but I feel like the Greek cities aren't really contributing a lot to this alliance anyway, so fuck them. We just need to talk to Macedonia because I need a trade desperately. But right now the town of Apollonia is actually owned by no one. So anyway, that's our turn done pretty much. I guess the only thing we do need to decide on now is, do we sally forth this turn? We have 7 turns until the town surrenders, but every turn I wait, my units are going to start growing weaker and weaker and weaker. So I do really have a choice now. Do I wait for reinforcements to come? Because I could send Hasdrubal from Caralis, but at the same time, sending Hasdrubal from Caralis means that Caralis is going to be open to attack again from the Julii, who might just ship another army over. So I do want to make sure I have this town at an adequate strength level. Like, I need to get a shrine up in order to try and instill culture, because even if I lose Caralis, if I can probably get a majority Carthaginian culture going on in here with shrines to either Baal, Tanit or Milkat, then at least when the Romans take over, the citizens will be on my side and be a thorn in the Roman side, as they'll have trouble imposing their own culture upon my people. But as for Admiral Milcarum, he's out of moves, which is not good because Admiral Sextus is probably going to eat him for breakfast in a minute. Admiral Fro, he can't move at the minute because he hasn't got anything to do. He is carrying Isaltes and Round Shield Cavalry, actually, who I am going to use to reinforce Caralis. So we are going to get things moving. So I am thinking we are actually going to try and hold off another turn, because what we can do is we can get Isaltes to Caralis. He can sit in Caralis. I can get the army of Hasdrubal over to Messana, put him in a position where he could potentially engage Captain Decimus, and then we can use his Libyan spearmen to try and reinforce me against the enemy cavalry. So that'd be a good idea for us. But for now, we are going to go to the next turn. We are going to see what's going to happen, because that's just how I'm going to play it this time around. I don't want to take the fight just out of the city just yet. I'm going to give it one more turn. But then again, you see, it actually is a really hard decision. I mean, I do want to try, and I do want to get rid of a brute. I mean, but we just lack adequate counter cavalry units. I mean, Equites. Well, actually, we don't have a stats on Equites, right? Oh wait, we do have a stat on Equites. I mean, here's the stats on Equites right now. Actually, the very basic Roman cavalry. As you can see, they have 7 attack, a okay charge bonus, and their total defense is 13, so they're not brilliant, and as we've seen in the field, they are a bit shit. Round Shield Cavalry in comparison do have more attack, but they really do lack the defense, which is what concerns me. My cavalry can pretty much outperform offensively, but on a defensive footing, the Romans are going to win. I don't think my Round Shield Cavalry will be enough to just mop up the Equites, especially when I only have 3 battalions of these, and the Romans potentially have more than me. I'm going to wait until we have the Spearmen in position, because you know what, I don't have enough counter cavalry units. I do have the Elephants, I do have plenty of town militia, and I do have some Numidian mercenaries, but I think I'd rather wait until Hasdrubal's nearby and then we can stop him. But if I do see more Romans moving towards Messana, I am going to have to take the offensive very quickly, because if I do see the Romans moving, then we are basically in a race against time at the same time, because the Romans do move quite quickly. So let's go to the next turn, play this one out, see what happens, because yeah, playing on hard mode, it really does mean every move I make could be a life or death decision right now for Carthage. I mean, we're not quite at that stage yet, but especially with Sicily right now, this is a really big situation that we're having to deal with. I mean, this campaign is basically going to be several mini campaigns. It's going to be a campaign for Sicily, the Peninsula campaign, then it's going to be a campaign to conquer Iberia, and then I don't even know where we're going to go after we've dealt with the Romans and the Spanish. Should we take over Africa? Shall we move east? Shall we move north? I don't know where we could go with Carthage. Potential is everywhere. But for now, let's end the turn and see what we can do. And as predicted, the Romans did engage me at sea, and yeah, we're going to lose this one most likely. I don't know, because the naval combat in this game is inconsistent. Yeah, we lost. I saw that one coming.
Disengage!
And here's a follow-up battle. Average defeat this time.
Attack! Roll for your lives! Moves depleted, sire. We're surrounded.
Right, so 2 minor annoyances this time around. I'm not talking about Admiral Milcarum, though. Like I said, the naval combat in this game is a general bugbear. We got the Spanish sieging us at Cordoba, which I did predict, but maybe now we might be able to get a better readout on their army. Let's have a look. No, we haven't. Right, well, we're going to sally forth anyway, because I don't want to risk Cordoba. The Spanish could attack at any minute, basically. But it looks like the Julii have seen through my plans, and they've sent Admiral Oppius to try and pen in my navy at Carthage, and that isn't good because Admiral Fiero is a very weak commander. Like, it's a very weak navy, so I'm stuck, and I need to take off auto management, by the way. So go away, auto management. We're going to need to boost up our navy here in order to stand a chance of getting out of Carthage, but that's slowing me down, which isn't good. And the Romans have landed more troops on Syracuse, I believe, so I think we will need to take the advantage. Well, not the advantage, we don't really have much advantage, but we will need to take the initiative, and we do need to move out. But you know what, even though Admiral Milcarum, he doesn't really have a lot left in his life to live for, I'm going to send him to blockade Rome as a daring act of defiance, and also just to piss off the Senate, so there we go. I mean, while that's gonna hurt the Senate a little bit, that might try and divert Roman attention away from Sicily, like their naval forces. I mean, like the Julii, they might spring to Rome's rescue and move away out of Carthage if we're lucky. But yeah, we do need to try and get some naval ships up here. So all I can afford really are 2 more biremes. That's what I'm gonna take. I'm still really poor, but yeah, 2 biremes. I'll put them in priority over the Libyan spearmen. Captain Mashable, you will make your way into Carthage now and just sit there and form the new garrison. I am bleeding money out of Carthage right now, by the way. This isn't good. I mean, our money is just shit. Cordoba is under siege. We're going to fight that one out. I don't want to just sit on my ass with that one. We did make a very small profit, by the way, but I've spent it all. But yeah, we made a tiny profit, so, you know, step to step. Thapsus has grown, by the way, so Thapsus is actually ready for the next level, which is a governor's palace. That's going to cost me 1,600 denarii, which is very expensive. But will actually give me access to the next tier of buildings. So let's actually have a quick look at... I mean, Thapsus is a large town. What's that compared to Carthage? Well, Carthage is just a capital. What level will we be at with a governor's palace? Well, we'll be at the level where we can start recruiting Libyan spearmen. That's good. I want to try and make Africa the core of my powerful units, which we can start shipping out more into the peninsula. We'll also be... Oh, yes, we'll be able to train long shield cavalry, which is the evolution of round shields, and elephants. Right. That's a good idea, then. If we get cavalry stables, we can start creating more elephants, which, while a little bit niggly to control, they can turn the tide of a battle if we use them properly. So right, that's good. I'll try and grow a Parma when we have the money. Faction announcements, by the way. Anibas Volubis has been born, and Hiram Tunis has gained +1 influence, which is useful for him because he's going to continue his way to Macedon. So Hiram Tunis, no, I don't care about Apollonia. I mean, I really don't. So you, Hiram Tunis, make your way to the Macedonians, have a chat, see if we could get some trade. Because if we could trade with like the ones named Corinth, then that's just going to make me a nice little packet of money, especially once we start eliminating what's left of the Romans on Sicily. If we can capture if we can capture that little bit of Sicily here, we should pretty much dominate the southern Mediterranean. I mean, we probably won't, but I'll definitely have like the best protection here, and I can control this and start maybe even doing some inter-African trade. Like, we could try and make contact with the Egyptians to the Far East, or even the other powers which lie there. Recruitment report, by the way. Carthage some new Libyans, and Thapsus some Iberian infantry. Good gumdrops. Right, business time. Let's have some business time. Well, not business time, actually. This is battle time. We're going to fight the Battle of Cordoba now, because you know what? I'm not having the Spanish sit here and ruin Cordoba. Cordoba is creaking a little bit, but you know what? I have been getting better at these battles. We are going to plan this one out nicely, but I have cavalry. As far as we can tell, he mainly has weak infantry, so I think we could probably, while we probably might not kill the Spanish, we could probably rout them and buy myself some more time for Cordoba to continue growing, because It is. I am very stretched actually in terms of finances. I do need to try and take Carthago, Nova, or Oscar off the Spanish, which would really hurt them. And from that, I probably would need to prepare enough forces from Parma to try and do this. The only thing is Parma sucks right now. I mean, while I do have plenty of town militia here, which are just all doing their thing, and maybe I should actually disband some to save some money, actually, which actually is a... You know what? Yeah, you know what? I can save myself... I don't think I need all of these, so I'm going to save myself 200 denarii a month by, well, 200 denarii a turn by getting rid of them, so there we go. That's 200 denarii extra in my pocket now, and while I don't like disbanding, that should be an adequate enough defence for us right now, because I really do doubt the Spanish or the Romans have much interest in conquering Parma right now. I mean, this island's just a little out of the way, but we do need to try and focus on growing Parma. Luckily, we are close, but we're decreasing the tax rate. While that's going to cost me money, that's going to grow Parma quicker. The other thing is, can I afford lower taxes to get the better growth in order to try and get Parma to a point where I could establish ports and better military training facilities? That is the question. I mean, I don't really know how many turns it would be. If I was to leave a settlement alone, I don't know how many turns it would be until the next growth, because, yeah, that's actually one feature that I would like in this game. I would love to know how much I could get from, like, just how many turns it will be until I next grow, because if we can just get to a point where we're a large town, then we can at least get the militia barracks up for Iberians, we can get round shields, we can get skirmishers, all very base units, but that'll be enough to try and get some decent units, well, not even decent units, but probably enough to outclass the Spanish. Let's have a quick look at my profit report and see, would that... I mean, right now, I've left it on low taxes, so would that be viable for us? Actually, it would be. I mean, if I put this on regular taxes, I should be able to tank the economic penalty. Let's have a quick look now. Yeah, right. Profits will remain minuscule, but profits were already minuscule. But yes! Right. I'm going to leave that be. I've increased population growth in Parma. We're doing good there. Now let's focus on Cordoba. Let's get some troops ready and conquer the area, or at least not conquer the area. Well, yeah, conquer the Spanish army. Let's just get rid of the Spanish army. Right, Fiopanes, take your men, which is not really too many, unfortunately. But you know, we've got some round shields, we've got some Iberian skirmishers, town militia. Not brilliant units, but this should be enough to beat off Captain Hugo's.
Prepare for battle.
Get him out of my area, because you know what, I want to make sure we're safe again. So it's 1,183 men on my side against 962 Spaniards. Strength ratio is 9 to 4 in my ratio, which tells us, yep, he has mainly town militia, but he does have one unit of skirmishers and a unit of Scutari. So the Scutari are going to be the key unit to break in this one, because they're the ones who do really present the most potential danger, because obviously, like the Hastati, they do have a missile attack alongside a melee attack, so we need to definitely be hitting home against those guys and keeping the Iberians and the town militia away from them. But we need to distract them enough to make sure either Fiopanes or the cavalry can get into them and really take them out. Either way, let's give this one a go. Let's try and stop the Spanish from conquering my nice little town in the Iberians, you know. The most western Phoenician colony of them all shall not fall. Find this one out on the battle map again. Are you joining this, by the way, Mr. Bones? I know you're the one who wanted more total war out of me. And just remember, only the brave enjoy noble and glorious deaths. Which would work as some sort of passive-aggressive insult against you if you died on For Honor once in a while, but really, you haven't really had any stupid deaths on it. But you're doing good at For Honor, my friend. I will try to pick up a copy of For Honor myself as well in the future, because I would like to have a go at that game. By the way, there was a guy in Halicarnassus called Dionysius. Cool dude, really. Like to get pissed up. Bacchanalacha.
Await my orders.
Okay, men, we know the plan today. So, the plan is, don't suck at the battles. So, we've got the skirmishers lining up on the back. The frame rate seems a little bit jagged today, by the way. I'm not really sure why. But we've got the town militia mainly making up the front line. The Iberians are on the wing, and the Scutari are sort of on the wing. Now, like I've said, the Scutari are doing clashy swords, but the Scutari are the key unit to kill in this battle. Now what we can do is, in this battle, we can take the time to line up my men outside the walls before the Spanish will charge forward, because I am the one taking the offensive line on this. I am the one coming out. They're just waiting for me. So, what we'll do is, I have 3 units of cavalry, and there's 2 units who the cavalry need to get into. 1, the skirmishers. The skirmishers will break very quickly with a well-timed and well-aimed cavalry charge. And 2, the scutari. None of my infantry are capable of taking on the scutari frontal and mano a mano. So, what I think I should do is I should get the Balearic slingers to annoy the scutari a little bit. They could probably get a few pinging shots off, and the scutari will say, right, we'll go for those Balearic slingers. They look like an easy prize. And then with that, Fiapanes and 1 contingent of cavalry could probably get into the back of them and rout the scutari, and I can bring in some Iberians to help out once the scutari are confused. My other Iberians, they'll be good for taking out the town militia. Town militia, on the other hand, I'll be using them for wings and flanks. As for the other enemy Iberian infantry on the wing, they're a bit of a wild card right now. I'm going to try and get some cavalry into the back of them as and when, but right now, you know, just because they're so far out on the wing, I'm actually not sure what they're planning with them. So, either way, let's just make some buddy up systems, or at least I'm going to, once we've ended the deployment, because since I can't deploy outside my walls, there's not really any point doing any deployment. So let's just get ready to fight this one out. So, the enemy is actually already on the move. They're just lining their men up a little bit now, so I'm not really sure where they're going. I'm not even sure if they're just retreating straight up. I think they want to choose where they're fighting, so I'll let them run for now, because if they're running away, then that's fine with me. I mean, it robs me of a battle, but fair enough. But for now, cavalry, I want you to line up outside the city and get ready to move. So, cavalry, let's get moving. I don't know where these guys are going, but yeah, they're going. Alright, so long, Spain. They'll just be lining up here. They probably want to fight near the hill or something. Not that the hill's well, actually, being on top of the hill is going to give them a very good defensive advantage. So I assume that's where they're going to go. But the good thing for me is going up that hill for all that infantry. That's going to be a bit of a slog, and that's going to slow them down and make them good prey for my cavalry. However, it looks like the Spanish are slowing down, and the frame rate is shitting itself today. I don't know what is going on today with the frame rate. It's not going too well. I think it might be because D3D gear updated, and I might need to just play around with settings a little bit. I might have accidentally tweaked the settings down to maybe record at 45 FPS or something, but yeah. I think I've grown a little bit too used to playing 60 FPS now with all my games. But anyway, cavalry, you're going to group up and get ready to do your thing, and I'll deal with whoever's next in a minute. So, yep, that's all my cavalry out of the city. So, Iberian infantry, you're going to be my main frontal attack force because we are my mainline infantry, so I want you to line up here and get ready to make your move. Spanish, they've made their line now. They're going to stand there and defend against me. I am the one on the offensive in this battle, remember? So, we have the town militia making up the central flank of the enemy, and that's good. That's plenty of... Oh, wait, they're on the move again. Right, we're going to... Right. The Spanish are going to be very inconsistent with their units. It's going to make it harder for me to plan my attack. But that's probably where we're going to... No, wait. Bloody hell, Spanish being annoying again. But as you can see, if they maintain this general formation, while the scutari are at the back now, that's fine by me. The scutari at the back, that's where they're probably going to cause the least trouble for me. And that's probably where I could easily get my cavalry in. So right now, I am free to basically throw bodies at the enemy, and actually they're moving forward. I hope they're not moving forward against me, otherwise we've got a problem. But then again, they are running, which is good, because that means these guys, they're going to tire themselves out, which is alright for me. So town militia, let's get you ready. Oh wait, right, the Spanish are slowing down, right. Town militia, I need you out here, because you're going to be on the wings, and actually no, I don't need to group you up, because I'm going to put 1 town militia on each wing, so... Town militia are just going to exist as a flanking force, just to keep my flank secure, just in case the Spanish do try anything, but it's not very likely due to the lack of cavalry. Now, my slingers, I need you out here, and while I could get the slingers to try and harass the scutari like I originally planned, the scutari have actually run off to the back of the army, which means my skirmishers, my skirmishers could actually get them, but my slingers aren't going to touch them now. So I'm going to use my skirmishers probably just to counter volley against the enemy skirmishers. Both skirmishers probably, I think they probably just have identical stats, so... But I think I actually have more skirmishers than the enemy, so that means I'm good in that sense. But for now, let's just get all my units out in position and prepare my plan. So, I've got my Iberians ready to march up the centre, so... Iberians, let's march up the centre now and form our block. I want a nice wide battle line, wide enough to try and encapsulate all the enemy town militia. As for my town militia, I've got one of you is going to be on the far wing, so I want one of you to basically protect this little corner here. Oh, fucking hell, they're moving away again. And the other one I want to be roughly about here. Now, I'm going to start bringing my skirmishers forward because the Spanish are just going to be content to run away. So what I need to do is I need to basically get my first defensive play in position now. So I'm going to start bringing my Balearics forward, and they could just have a nice fun time picking off the nice weak town militia. Now, some may say this might be a waste of stones. Maybe they'd be better off going for the Iberians, which actually would be a good idea. Actually, yeah, go for the Iberians. I've actually just corrected myself. If we target the Iberians, we can start pinging away at their health and their morale. We do know that Iberian infantry are notoriously shit for morale because mine always run away, and they tend to they often run away in my other campaigns. Spanish should just keep adjusting their formation. No, that's alright. Skirmishers are going to form up here just behind my men though, just to create a defensive line just in case the enemy does try to move too far forward. If they do, then I can meet them with javelins. Cavalry, let's move up on here on this flank. But let's try and keep. I'm gonna keep Fiopanes separate. Fiopanes, you form up on this flank here because you're gonna be the one who's gonna be on anti-Scutari duty. So I just want to try and keep my cavalry separate. I also just want to be careful not to lose Fiopanes on the battlefield because if he dies, then I'm already in a bad position. But I also just don't want to lose him geographically, just because then he will probably end up dying, which will not be very good. But apart from that, I think we are now in the position I want to be in. So my men are lined up, my dudes are moving around, slowly but surely, because this battle's just fucking dragging on, because the Spanish can't decide where they're going to deploy. But I think I have the upper hand. It's all about the momentum in this battle. Not that there is any, but it's all about the manoeuvring, the strategizing, the where do I put what units. Right now, I think I know where I'm putting everything. Town militia, by the way, we need you to be on the wing. Like, seriously, be on the wing and try and keep the Spanish back. You guys as well, defending from this tower here. Also, while we're not on a defensive foot, if the Spanish do charge forward, I do remember I have the actual... Oops, accidentally knocked my desk there if you heard a thump. I actually do have the physical defences of the town to fall back on, which is basically this one tower here. But towers on this game are basically sniper rifles, so these would be good for trying to pick off a few enemy units, so I've got that sorted. Now, Balearics, they're starting to make their match forward. Balearics, I just need you to pause. Oh, shit, yeah, because now we've got their attention. Right, Balearics, fire at will, take out what... Oh, no, wait. Right, we're not coming forward just yet. Right, the Spanish are exercising caution, but right. Cavalry, prepare yourselves on the wings. I don't know why one of you decides to deploy in a stupid great big column formation, by the way. You don't need to be in a column formation, just be in a nice line formation. Town militia, why aren't you moving forward, by the way? You need to be forward. Skirmishers, we've got you positioning here. Right, it's all taking shape now. I've got Fiopanes on this wing. I've got the Spanish now just being indecisive. I think they're trying to move to counter my advance now. Or not really. They're just waiting to see what I'm gonna do. And that's good, that's good. That means the ball is now in my court. The Spanish are gonna have to react to whatever I do. I can be active now. They're gonna be reactive. And I will obviously need to react to their reactions, but if I'm the one who's gonna be basically the aggressor now, I can make the first move. I can have that vital first play, which could basically tip the scales in my favour. Now, that thing I'm going to do is I'm going to target the Iberian infantry with my slingers, because targeting those guys, they're the toughest infantry unit next to the Scutari. So, and since there's a lot of them, the Balearics can start chipping down their numbers, but it will chip down their morale as well. So, my guys are now going for the long march forward, and I'll bring my Iberians forward accordingly, just to try and make sure they've got backup, because since the Spanish are barbarians, they will most likely just charge forward. But my guys are getting ready for to loose off the first stones. And yep, there we go. Right, that was a good hit. We took quite a few out there. We can probably get at least one more volley out before they clash with our forces. Right, go on. They're slinging, they're slinging, they're slinging. Right, good sling. Right. Balearics, fall back, don't fire. Iberians, get in those town militia and finish them. Town militia, you get ready to hold your position, go into a guarding formation, and get ready to deal with the enemy charge. It's good that the Spanish are taking the bait though, but they're trying to take on a weaker unit. That gives me time to maneuver my cavalry into a position where I can stop them. Skirmishers, start engaging the enemy from this angle here. Now the enemy skirmishers in the Scutari, they've decided to stay back. They're going to observe a battle from afar. But on the upside, cavalry, they're doing the exemplar job now. We've got the Iberian infantry on the run already. Good gumdrops. Some of them are already taken off as well. So, right, you guys. Blast into the enemy infantry. Finish them off. Get it done. Because right now my other wing is under attack. So, Iberian infantry, run into those skirmishers there, which have decided to foolishly come forward. Got a chance to go into their back. Fiopanes, you start maneuvering around. We'll try and get you into their rear. And there we go. The Spanish are on the run. So all that preparation just for one very quick engagement, by the way. And the Scutari, they're well and truly on the run now. They already know they've lost, and they're not far from the battle border, actually. So I'm going to send my cavalry now just to chase them down, hunt them, try and stop too many of them from escaping, because then that'll be less of them to me too. Hey! Yep, that's the Spanish on the run. See you later, Spaniard. You fucked it up a little bit, didn't you, lads? Right. Cavalry, go forward and just you know, happy hunting. Just kill whatever you see fit. It's good when a battle comes together and ends up in a nice decisive victory for Carthage. That's the Spanish kept at bay for another few turns, and that buys me another few more turns to just keep on building my forces. And that was actually a good engagement because I think my losses weren't too bad. Anyway, units, you keep running, by the way. Don't let the Scutari escape because they are now dangerously close to the escaping zone. But we can even just try and kill a few of them, then that's good for me because those Scutari, they're just a little bit of a pain in the ass, really. So just kill them, then that's just less of them for me to deal with. But there we go. Cavalry is now closing in. We'll get the kill, and then the game will declare me as the winner. Go on. Shame we don't have lances. I mean, we just have swords. I mean, that's probably the biggest weakness of this cavalry, just no swords. Scutari have decided to turn and fight, actually, and get out their missile weapons, so this might actually be a good idea for me now to try and retreat out. But what I'm actually going to do is, while we've got one unit engaging from the front, I'm going to try and get the other one out from the back. But then again, at the same time, I just remember these are round shield cavalry, but don't like fighting. They're like really shit at fighting. But what I have done now is I've split my cavalry force in two, and well, you know what sandwiches look like. So let's just put the bread in place and let the filling get all nice and squished and squashed. There we go. Nice sandwich charge, and they're gone. Right, finish them all off, lads. Finish them all off. I don't care what you do with them. I don't care how you gut them, how you stab them. As long as you kill them and empty their pockets of their gold, I'll be a happy chappy. Just make sure they're all dead and their pockets are empty of gold. We need the gold to continue thriving and building. Maybe we should do a slave trade or something, but either way. That big unit of Scutari now is basically a big unit of nothing. Obviously, I did have to sacrifice some cavalry because the Scutari did turn and fight. So, yeah, those cavalry losses, they do prove, by the way, that the Scutari are a viable fighting force. And, oh, Captain's dead. Ah, nice extra bonus. Cool. Right. That just leaves one enemy left to deal with. Take down the last of the retreating Spanish forces, and that'll pretty much be all the units killed, actually. I think my guys actually hunted everything down, so Fiopanes, well done to you. You did an absolutely brilliant job, and yeah, you know what? Losses were actually minimal on my side. We did lose some Iberian infantry in the main engagement, but apart from that, we didn't lose any missile forces. Naturally, we lost a few town militia, but hey, we didn't lose too many, and they are replaceable. And yeah, cavalry was the only really major loss we made, and I think we should pretty much be able to replace them next turn. So either way, that's the Spanish held off for a little longer. That's good. Keeps me surviving and keeps me trading out of Iberia. Right, you lot enjoy that last little town militia who's running away. He's running into the jaws of death like some sort of nihilist, masochist, whatever you want to call him. Either way, he's fucked. So go on. Who gets the final kill? He did. Right, well done.
Yours, and no one can argue that it is not both well-deserved and worthy.
I wouldn't say well-deserved. I mean, alright, I did deserve victory because I did play well, I guess, but wasn't the biggest victory in the world, but hey, it keeps the Spanish at bay, doesn't it? Right, so Fiopanes versus Captain Uguts. There was a deployment difference of about 200 in my favour, and overall I killed everything. Yeah, perfect. Right. That's just an entire army wiped off a field. Perfect, well, not a perfect victory, but you know, everything gone. That is a very well fought defense, and that keeps this town operating now. It's not lingering around being sieged. We're not having to deal with everything else. A lot of dead bodies on the field, I know, but hey, dead bodies make good fertilizer right here. So either way, I still have 1,062 men remaining, so I didn't even dip below having 1,000 men, so that's a good thing. Theophanes actually took 262 casualties at the end of the day. I mean, I didn't even have to supervise him. I just let him loose at the end of the battle, and he's had a very good day of it. Round Shield Cavalry as well. They were the MVPs because they were the ones who chased down the Scutari, got them in the back to basically do a general break-in. Iberian Infantry, they didn't get too much. They were more of a pinning force. Skirmishers, they didn't see any action this time. Balearic Slingers, despite only getting about 2 volleys out, they still got 48 kills sorted, so they are a pretty valuable unit. And one of the town militia, while one of them sucked, the other one actually just went all out. 125 kills. That is actually more than the Iberian Infantry combined. A town militia unit did well. That is pretty amazing. Somehow they didn't get promoted. Only a Round Shield Cavalry got promoted, but hey, a promotion's a promotion. If none of my units got promoted, I would be a little bit miffed, I guess. But either way, Corduba's protected again. That's a Spanish kept at bay. And an ambuscade, by the way, if discovered and promptly surrounded, will repay the intended mischief with interest, said Vegetius. Yeah, he said that. He was a pretty smart guy. But I think that's actually what I'm going to call it an episode. One nice battle done, a few decisions made, and the Spanish army seen off. So, a trait increase, by the way. Theophanes gains 2 more command stars. That's what I like to see. And he gets a retinue expansion. He now has bonus command against barbarians, which means not only will we now pretty much be in a position where we can probably defend even better against the Spanish now, we're probably in a position now where soon we can start thinking about going on the offensive. Either way, let's see what we can basically afford to retrain all of our infantry, so that's good. Infantry's replenished. We do need to get a stable up and running though, which is something we should try and prioritise for the next turn, depending on where I spend money, because I know I need to spend money on Thapsus, and yeah, money's still tight. That's the issue. Money is still tight. Having Messana being strangled by the Brutii as well doesn't help. Every turn Messana is under siege is more money being lost, and the enemy has actually now made 2 battering rams, which means an offensive could be close by now. That we could get sieged if I choose to go to the next turn. So I do now find myself in that position where I need to make the difficult decision of, do I attack, do I not attack? Because, yeah, that's a decision I'm making on the next episode though. So I hope you enjoyed today's edition, and I will see you for the next edition tomorrow of Rome Total War. So I hope you enjoy this new uploading format I'm having. The cycle will always be the same, but now basically I'm going to try and shoot for 3 Rome Total Wars a week, and then that means I'm getting through this campaign faster, and people who enjoy this series, if they're getting their weekly share, dose, whatever you want to say, of this series. And you know what, because I want to also keep playing it, because you know what, if I go several months without playing Rome Total War, I'm going to forget what I'm doing in my campaign, I'm going to start sucking again, but which nearly happened today actually, but at least, hey, I managed to keep Corduba safe once more, so we're doing good in some areas. Now let's try and make sure we're doing good in all the other ones, but for now, I'm going to call that an episode, so I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Enjoy the rest of your evening, my friends.